All right, thank you, Hartley. All right, return to open session. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the agreement between James Kreidler Jr. and the town of Townsend
Recording in progress.
as amended in the executive session held today on May 28th, 2021.
Is there a
Second.
second? All those in favor?
Yes.
Chad Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes. So Joe, if you could read the statement.
I'm gonna read a public statement. As a result of certain differences in philosophy in the public administration that have arisen between Town Administrator James M. Kreidler Jr. and the current Townsend Board of Selectmen, Jim Kreidler has separated from the town in a no-fault agreement with the Board of Selectmen. The board and Mr. Kreidler have reached an agreement to address the balance of certain contractual benefits under his existing employment contract with the town. Mr. Kreidler has agreed to serve as an advisor to the office of the town administrator. The goal shared by Mr. Kreidler and the town and contemplated by this agreement is to ensure that the town's interest in pending matters is fully protected and that there is a smooth transition in the office. The board thanks Mr. Kreidler for his service to the town. Mr. Kreidler thanks the citizens of Townsend for their steadfast confidence in the Townsend employees, and he highlights the exemplary example of commitment, skill, and heart it takes to be a public employee.
Thank you, Joe. There will be a statement going out to all town employees later today. So with that, we're going to move on with the remainder of the business for the meeting. So just give me 1 second to get my agenda back up. Let me find that.
Believe we are next to 3.1, Madam Chair.
Yes, we are. So 3.1 is the emergency broadband benefits fund. Are we ready to discuss that? Or should we move that to our meeting on Friday?
If I may.
Go ahead.
The Emergency Broadband Benefits Fund is really designed for, I would think, a public announcement. It basically, you would be calling your local provider, which in Townsend I would assume would be Comcast, which I did some research on this when I received it. The FCC Emergency Broadband Benefit Program is for individuals who had had difficulties paying for broadband service. And the each individual situation will be different. So it is suggested that the individual contact their broadband service provider, and they'll be able to point them in the right direction as far as the eligibility and application and that sort of thing. The benefit is $50 a month discount for broadband services, up to $75 a month discount for broadband services for households. Now, this is for households. It is not for individuals. It's very specific. So the one-time discount of up to $100 for a laptop, desktop, computer, or tablet is also there as well. There is a website that is, I could probably throw this broadband benefit program fact sheet. We could get that on the website to let the townspeople know. But it is really not anything that we as a town need to do. This is offered for individual households within the town.
So it's similar to the mortgage assistance and the fuel assistance that we have in place.
Correct. I had forwarded information over to the Affordable Housing Trust, and the chair was looking it over to see if she could put together a flyer and add it to other benefits that we've been dealing with throughout the crisis. And the chair said that they would be able to get something together, and we can post it on the website if you'd like.
Do we need a vote to post? I think it would be good if we did.
Okay.
So,
I make a motion that we post an FCC Emergency Broadband Benefit Program fact sheet on the town website.
Second.
Discussion. We will put that under COVID relief benefits then on the website.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Kell, yes. All right. 4.2, film production at the library. So I guess I put everything that we had on that in the 4.2 section of the SharePoint for this meeting. So Stacy, if you could talk about that further and let us, just say a few words about what that's about. I believe that there's an agreement that needs to be looked at by town council as well. So if you could just, do you mind saying a few words?
Yeah, so Catherine Kubik, she is a town resident. She's a college student and she goes to Emerson College. And I believe this is a project that they're doing. It's not a school project, more of an independent project that she and a group are doing. It's a short film. And they would like to film part of it at the library while we're closed. I have no real problem with that. I would be here while they were filming. They probably want to do it on a Sunday. I don't think it's going to be, I mean, this is a low budget short film made by, amateur filmmakers. I'm not sure if amateur is an insulting word, but I'm using it. I think they will be respectful of the building and the property and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Thank you, Hartley.
I saw that there was an agreement.
Right, that was what I didn't feel like I was qualified to sign that agreement on behalf of the town.
I know the town council would like to review it. So I guess we should look at having town council review the agreement. Stacy, do you have an idea of time, like when she needs to know and to schedule and all that, because there will be turnaround time to get this to.
Right. So yeah, they had wanted to do it this weekend. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Or I think it's June. Let me just look back at her email. I had it up before. I think. I believe it's June 20th. June 20th.
Okay, so that gives us a time frame.
Yeah. Madam Chair, may I suggest that we instruct town council to make the changes that he put into the information that we had. Let Stacy review that. If they're in agreement, then we can, bring it back to us and we can vote on it with one of our work session. No, we can't vote on it in a work session, but we could put it in one of our meetings, upcoming meetings.
We could put it in the June 8th meeting. I think it might even be on that agenda right now. I'm not sure. I keep adding things to that agenda.
Okay.
So the vote would be at our June 8th meeting. So, all right. So can we have a motion to take it forward to town council pending approval on June 8th?
I move that we instruct town council to adjust the contract per the library's okay, and then put this to further discuss on June 8th.
Is there a second? Sorry, Joe. All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Kell, yes. So Stacy, it'll come back on June 8th.
Okay, so I'll tell her by the
and-
9th. By the 9th,
and-
she should have an answer. Okay,
Yes, and to tentatively schedule for June
the
20th.
okay,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, opening town hall. I know that we received a statement from the Board of Health saying that they recommend that town hall be open completely on June 1st. I know that I also have this on discussion for the June 8th meeting because there's further, recommendations coming from the governor's office. So I don't know, what do we want to, do you have their statement in front of you, one of you from the Board of Health?
Yes,
Otherwise,
I
can
do.
bring it up. Okay.
Yeah, I
yes.
have the Board of Health and I also have the governor's release, which is, what was released this morning as well for the May 29th, which I want to address. But
Okay.
the Board of Health has said, please be advised that the Board of Health meeting today unanimously voted to suggest to the Select Board that they open town-owned buildings to the public on June 1st, 2021, with the suggestion that any person who is not vaccinated to please wear a mask. Please confirm receipt, and this would be confirming it. This is dated May 24th, 2021. What the governor had released was today that they announced that the Commonwealth is back on track to meet the goal for vaccinating 4.1 million residents by the first week of June, and all remaining COVID-19 restrictions will be lifted effective May 29th. So that effective May 29th, all industries will be permitted to open with the exception of certain individual or certain companies that we can go into further. It does not say anything in regards to town hall or public owned buildings. Specifically what they're asking for mask requirements are on public and private transportation, inside K through 12 public schools, collaboratives, approved special education schools, inside childcare programs, in certain healthcare facilities and providers' offices, in congregate care centers, in healthcare and rehabilitative day services and programs, and home care workers. Those were the exceptions for face coverings.
I guess for me, I'm okay with opening town hall. I would say that wearing a mask is strongly recommended. I don't think we can require them then, because that isn't an exempt rule, but I would say that wearing a mask is strongly recommended.
Mhm.
We don't know who's vaccinated and who isn't. It's up to the individual.
Correct.
It's their responsibility on that.
So not
So-
only town hall, but that would be in any town-owned building.
Town-owned buildings, yeah.
Correct. And that would be according to both the governor and CDC.
So I guess that's what I would go for. I haven't read the governor's order from today yet.
Well, it's basically in addition to what he had put out when I forget when exactly this was announced. I want to say the 18th.
So that would be Tuesday. All buildings would now be open.
Correct. Open to the public. And we would advise that if you have not been vaccinated to wear a mask while you're in town hall. But there is a no mask, there is no mask required.
Go ahead, Stacy.
So the library's open tomorrow. I know we're the only ones open tomorrow. So whatever you decide today, should I just go with what we've been doing already? Or I guess everyone's asking me, there's a lot of confusion about what everyone should be doing in the building.
What have you been doing as far as masking goes?
We've been requiring it, unless somebody says they have a medical condition. And people have been, really great about it, but I think we will definitely get people who will come in here and say, I don't have to, I'm vaccinated, and the governor says I don't have to. And I really don't want my staff to have to argue with people, you know, about that. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, if you put something in effect, I'm just clear about tomorrow, because tomorrow we're
I
open.
think tomorrow you are still on the same rules that you've been on. I
Okay.
would say that it would be effective Tuesday,
Okay,
that that all town buildings are open and masks are strongly recommended.
Correct.
okay,
So
For vaccinated.
we're taking the Board of Health suggestion that we will open up on June 1st.
I'm okay.
That said, okay, so yes, town buildings open on Tuesday, June 1st, with masks strongly recommended for
Mhm.
all people. So can we have a vote on that? A motion?
I move that we open town buildings to the general public effective June 1st, 2021, per suggestion of the Board of Health.
Second,
All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Kell, yes. I want to talk about public meetings at this point. I think that my thought on this is we continue with Zoom meetings until I think it's June 15th. So on our June 8th meeting, we'll discuss further how public meetings will be held. Things will remain on Zoom until through June 8th, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
I believe, Chaz, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or Joe, that the governor's order is June 15th for meetings. And I thought there was going to be a change to that.
Yeah, the state of emergency is going to be lifted effective June 15th if something doesn't happen between now and then. But there is some legislation to in regards to open meetings and that sort of thing. And I think that would be TBD. So we'll be finding out more in the next coming week or so.
Okay, so this will remain on the agenda as far as public meetings go. Zoom meetings remain more on June 8th as far as that. We have only opened town buildings to the public.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so that is three. Hold on, where am I at? That was 4.3. 4.4. This one's mine. Signatures for change of status form, ambulance lease agreement. These are things that would normally be signed by a town administrator. So I would like a vote that all forms that are typically signed by the town administrator be signed by a quorum of the Board of Selectmen going forward.
Second that.
So this way, if Carolyn has questions, she can contact me and I will see that we get the signatures that we need.
Do we need a vote on it?
I am erring on the side of caution, and we will take a vote on this. So is there a motion?
I move that with the absence of a town administrator, that two Board of Selectmen signatures would be required for any forms or contracts, I guess.
Second,
Any forms, I'm going to amend a little bit, normally signed by the town administrator.
Okay. So amended?
Yes, please. And second the amendment, Joe?
second, as
All
presented,
right. All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Kell, yes. So that takes care of 4.4. We added two things, the Unitil LED lighting contract and the Shaw's contract. I know that we did vote for both of these in, I believe, our May 11th meeting to have those signed.
I asked to bring this up because I went to go sign things on Thursday and I did not see those contracts. Mr. Shank, did you sign those? Do you remember?
I did sign them. They were on the table a week ago and I did sign them.
Okay, because I'd like to get that signed because I know the Board of Health needs the Shaws and the other contract. I don't know when that's in effect for.
I think this week, the beginning of the week when I went down there, there was a whole slew of forms that needed to be signed. And I signed everywhere that I thought I was supposed to, but now the documents are all gone, so I don't.
Okay, all right. So,
Um,
Madam Chair, if we can have them put on the table and I can go ahead and on some point this weekend to sign those two.
I will check into that and see that they get there and that you are notified
Okay.
for signatures. Will you be there on Tuesday to be able to sign?
I
Is that
can
too
go.
late for the trash contract?
I can go at any time. I can get into town hall. So
Okay.
if they
I
are
know-
left on the table, I can get them done today, later
All right.
on today.
I will try for that. I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right.
Can I ask a question? This is
I-
Kathy.
I don't think we're going to take questions right now, Kathy, but if you want to email something to me, I will do my best to answer.
I'd like to talk about it at a public meeting. Maybe I can get on the agenda for Tuesday then.
We don't have a meeting on Tuesday. We do have a meeting on Wednesday, June 2nd. I had sent a revision to that on Wednesday, June 2nd. So I believe we're probably too late to revise at this point for that one, but we do have another meeting on Friday, June 4th. So if you want to send me something to be put on that agenda, that would be great. But
right.
right now, we just want to get through the agenda for today. So that
Well,
the
it's
meeting-
not really fair to the employees that we don't get a
have-
chance to say anything.
Well, I was going to send out a public statement, a statement to the employees that should be there by the end of the day today. And so after that, we will be happy to take comment and we can send something to me, Kathy, and I'll put it on the agenda for Friday, June 4th.
Madam Chair,
Sure, Joe.
not to get into discussion, but I'm just curious as far as what her comment was unfair to the employees. So I don't know exactly what she was talking about on that.
Neither do I, but I've requested that she send me an agenda item for June 4th.
Perfect.
Can we quickly go back to the masks too? Because I just wanted to clarify employees if they are required to wear them while they're working. I don't think we touched on that. I'm sorry.
No, we didn't directly, but I think indirectly it's for everybody. The town buildings masks are recommended, but they are not required.
As
So,
of June 1st.
As of June 1st, as
Yep.
of Tuesday.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that was the employees as well. I'm sorry.
No, it's for anybody. No, that's fine. No, it is for anybody. Thank you, Stacy. And thank you, Kathy, for, we will have an agenda item on the 4th. All right, town administrator updates and reports. The two things that I wanted to, since we're in the situation that we are in now without a town administrator, there were two items that I wanted to discuss with the board. One is the SharePoint. So the file structure for SharePoint that we share. So Chaz, do you want to go over the changes that have been made over the past week or so in there?
What I've done, we touched upon it in the meeting when you were not here on Wednesday. Quite simply is that I tried to fortify the file structure so that when we are in a meeting and we need to access any document, those documents are moved to in an order so that we can easily get them. That would be number one. Number two is I set up a correspondence file for the month, and in each month when something comes in, as clerk, I've been looking at what would be relevant for that particular what meeting needs to be addressed for whatever the correspondence that comes in, and I'll put that in the folder for correspondence in the corresponding meeting portion of it. What I would like to clarify is when one of us want to have something put on a meeting agenda, according to our last conversation, we would just go in and put it on the agenda itself. But what I would like to add to that is that if there's supporting document to whatever that is, if you could also add it to the corresponding folder for that particular item that you put on the agenda.
I think that we should, I like the file structure. And I think that it's the communication piece for emails that come into us.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Carolyn put them? Where do we put them? So I think what I would like, and it's because I noticed just looking at things yesterday that there is one thing, I think it's the Greg Reeves run. I had put it on the agenda as an agenda item on June 8th, but it was also put under correspondence. I think you put it there, Chaz.
Mm-hmm.
So to avoid having you do that or me do that or Joe do that where we're doing this, I think that if you want it as an agenda item, let me know so that
Okay.
I can get that on the agenda. In the meantime, put it under communication and then we can move it. Does that make sense to you guys? Move it up if it's a, meeting business or a work session item, we can move it out of the communication because there's one that I did. And I think I put it on maybe for the June 4th agenda. It's about a grant that
Yes.
Carolyn had sent us. And I'm thinking that instead of putting that under meeting business or work session, that should go under communication because it isn't really relevant for us. It's more relevant for the Board of Health or MRPC than for us. It's just more notification for us. So things that are notification for us, but that don't need to be acted on, go in the communication section of the agenda for that meeting. So I will move that. So it's just it's a work in progress, figuring out how we're going to get that done so that we all have access to the same information
Right.
at the same time.
So like if I get, as a liaison, if I get a correspondence from somebody, fire or police, that send it to me that's been being forwarded somewhere, what do I do? Just send it, forward that email to Carolyn and CC you on it, and then you'll just deal with it? How are we going to go forward with that?
I think if there's something like that, if you feel it's something that needs to be put on the agenda, let me know. And then you can forward it to Carolyn and she can put it in the communications section for that meeting date. And then if it's something that's meeting business or work session, we can move it up to those 5.1, 4.1, wherever it goes. Does that make sense, Joe?
Yeah, if I get something, I'll just forward that communication to you and then you can handle it from there. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I want you to let me, you get something from, say, the police department.
Yeah.
If it's something that you think needs to go on the agenda, let me know, please put this on the agenda, or please put this on communication. And you could send that to Carolyn as well, or CC Carolyn on anything you send to me would probably be the best thing.
All right, thank you.
And we'll figure out how that's going to work in the meantime,
Okay.
till we have an interim hired.
Real
Um,
good.
So I think that takes care of the SharePoint correspondence and agendas. I think that we'll go from there.
Are we gonna go to 3.1, Madam Chair? I think you skipped over that.
Did I skip it? Oh, I did. I'm sorry. Yeah, I went straight to 4. So we're done with everything. Yeah, let's go back up to 3.1. I'm sorry. So the Council on Aging had requested the appointment of Karen Guthrie as kitchen assistant, dependent on a medical exam and a Cori check, with a 1-year probationary period. I believe that this needs also to be examined for Collins before it's finalized, but I think we can vote on the appointment without having that done, or I can see what I can do and we can put this on the June 4th agenda.
Well, some of the communications I seen, I think this has already been almost a month, was sent to Mr. Kreidler, and I don't think anything's happened. So sounds like they're a little desperate. So I don't know if we can act on this or what we need to do.
Chaz?
I would like to vote on this. They need some help there.
They do.
They have upcoming vacations and they need somebody to cover that. So I say that we take care of this.
All right, so is there a motion?
I move that we appoint Karen Guthrie as kitchen assistant, dependent on a medical exam and a Cori check, with a 1-year probationary period.
Is
And
there-
yeah, are we gonna add that and figure out the placement of the Collins Institute? Does that need to be
Right.
there?
Yeah.
So I'll
Okay.
amend that to that, second it.
All right.
All right, so all those in favor?
Bill Shank, yes.
Chad Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes. So welcome Karen Guthrie as our new kitchen assistant.
Go through the pro-
Thanks, Joe, for pointing out that I had slid right over that one. All
No
right.
All
All right. Any reports from board liaisons?
I have one, if it pleases the board. We have had, I had a discussion with the library director and library trustee. They've had some problems with their telephone. They have come up with a remedy, and the remedy is something that they can handle within their own budget. And they'd like to get started on it. Their budget would be to get it done within June, before the July 1st, before the next fiscal year. And I don't know if we need to have a vote of the board or how we're going to proceed with this. Do we need to have a vote of the board because it is within their own budget and it's really not there's no fiduciary responsibility for the, for the town, because they've already have the money within their own funding?
I guess my other question would be, is there any signing that needs to be done by the town, the board of selectmen? Stacy, go ahead. Thank you.
So our instructions from Jim at the beginning of the year were to get his signature on anything, his or Lori's, when Lori was here, when we had the accountant, on any extra, any purchases we're going to make that were not utilities. So I did send him this paper and I just fill it out. I didn't get his signature back on it, but I wasn't sure if I needed to because it was a utility. And the money is in the budget. So I guess it's, if I don't know if you guys feel you need the signatures or not on it.
So would Jim normally have signed it? This is what I need to know.
I
Would
don't
Jim-
know. I cleared it. I actually had a phone call with a conversation with him. It's the last time I talked to him and he said, sounds great, do it. He was like, go for it. And then I sent the paper in And I didn't hear back from him after that, but he gave his blessing.
We think it sounds good and you should go for it as well. So we
Mhm.
concur on that.
Yeah.
So I would say if you could send that to Joe and Chaz, and we can get that printed and a signature on it, or send it to Carolyn,
Okay.
all three.
Carolyn has it. I've sent it. I think I sent it to Carolyn and Jim maybe 3 times. So she should have it. So I'll send it again though, because I
Okay,
like to.
and CC me on that then as well,
Okay.
please.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Chaz and Joe, if a signature is needed, you two can, we voted that we would, a quorum of the Board of Selectmen could sign for things such as this.
Yeah.
So,
Can I go ahead and schedule the work then before you sign it?
let's have a vote to go ahead with it. I'm being abundantly cautious here.
Okay.
So just a vote to go forward on doing it. And so Chaz, is there a motion?
Sure. I move that we sign the document to allow the library to regarding their phone issue to get that fixed according to our discussion.
Second,
All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes. So Stacy, if you could get that form to Carolyn and me, we'll see that it gets signed, and you should go ahead and schedule the work.
Okay, and one point of clarification is that it's throughout the building. It's the library and the senior center.
Correct.
It's for both of us. Okay, I
Correct,
just wanted to make
yep.
sure that that was understood. The phone system is connected throughout.
Mhm.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Joe.
So I don't know where this should go or what we should do or how to move forward so we don't get ourselves all jammed up here. Where there's no town administrator, I've already been asked, what is the protocol from the, as a liaison? What do fire, police, what do they do when they send something to him? Should they be forwarding that now directly to each one of us as the liaison for the department, and then we forward it and deal with it what we need to, or how are we going to handle that so they have a directive of how to move forward?
We're issuing a statement later today, but I think that in general, you can be contacted as the liaison, and all anything written, et cetera, should also go to the selectmen@townsendma.gov.
Okay, perfect. So that will be good. That's what I was wondering. All right.
All right. Anything else from liaisons? All right, moving on. Announcements, communications, et cetera. Is there anything there?
I did not see anything for today.
No,
No, Joe? None from you?
good.
I have none. All right, our next meeting then is Wednesday, June 2nd at 12 noon, and I will add to the agenda a public comment period, at least for our Friday, June 4th noon meeting. So, and I'll see what Kathy sends along for the agenda item.
Okay.
So anything further?
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Hang on 1 second. Can I ask, Madam Chair, I think I forwarded, I know this is on the agenda for the 8th in regards to the inspections of the buildings that I was involved with the fire, police, the building and the properties manager. And they found one of the buildings was in an emergency situation where the building inspector says that we have to board that building up for safety and liability. We confronted Jim on that when we found out, but now Jim is not here. I just got an email from him with a price, and Jim said that, don't worry about it, we'll figure out the funding. What do we do with that? How does?
I think at this point, if you could send that to both Chaz and I,
Yep.
And we can put it as an emergency. I'll revise the agenda for June 2nd because this is an emergency, I guess. Does it have to be done tomorrow, or is this something that can wait until Wednesday?
Madam Chair, that building's been in that dire straits for a long time, but it is something that I do feel we should do. So I forward that to you and to Carolyn today or yesterday, but I will check again and confirm his email to me. I forwarded off. So we can put that on this week, and we just got to figure out where the funding is going to come from, I guess.
All right. So June 2nd inspection emergency.
Yep.
And June 4th public session. All right, so we have a motion on the floor to adjourn. All right, so vote on the motion to adjourn at 2:04 p.m.
No Shank, yes.
Chad Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.